Welcome back to the Turn of the Music podcast. My name is Kyle. This is episode 16. We've got CJ here. How are you, sir?
Doing well, despite
Excellent.
our technical difficulties.
Man.
Are we going to start off with, get off my lawn today?
This might be my get off my lawn. I mean, I could have come up with one, but it kills me because, we usually record at 8:30, and at 8 o'clock I got in here, I turned on Luna, I turned on this, I turned on that, and everything was good until you came on and said, my iLock's not working. And as soon as you said that, my iLock went, oh, I'm not working either. I went, son of a... And then I tried to run through the update to fix it, and it took 40 minutes. Ran out of hard drive space in the meantime.
You need to take some stuff off that computer of yours.
The problem is I don't know if you know this, but my hard drive on this is 250 gig.
How are you running anything?
I know. That's...
Is that one of the ones that you can actually change the hard drive on?
Nope.
No, I wasn't sure.
Nope. Oh, maybe I can. I think I think I can actually.
Maybe. Something to think about.
I think I've got an extra internal in there. But I mean, whatever. I mean, the operating system these days is 100 gigs, so whatever.
All right, time to download your update to your OS. 2,000 gigabytes.
And so this happened to me once before with Luna, and it's like I went to do the update, and it's like you need 4 more gigs, and I was like, all right. So I deleted a whole bunch of stuff, got that 4 extra gigs, and then after the install was done, I had more than when I started. It was like I went from 20 gigs to 35. Then you obviously didn't need all that space.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't know how they calculate it, but it calculates more than what's needed.
Yeah, probably for headspace.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm just saying you're right. Sometimes it's like half.
Yeah.
You need 20 gigs, but we're only going to use 5.
Yeah.
Technology.
I hate it. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's midweek. Feels like Friday. Every week lately, midweek feels like Friday. I think also part of it, it's been very humid, 80, 90% humidity the past few days. Been. Which really...
I walked out of work yesterday, and I probably would have gotten in my car faster if I swam, because it was just it wasn't raining, it was just humid, and I could swim through it. It was gross.
Disgusting, yeah. Outside of that, there's, just... Typically around this time, it's not too crazy at work, but because of new hires and changes and stuff, we're playing catch up, and it's. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping by the end of the week, we're done with the catch up, and it's just we get back into the swing of things.
Right.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I mean, it's been a week. It is what it is, and then just move forward. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What are you listening to?
So yes, I'm still listening to my audiobooks. I got into a zombie series and it's fantastic.
Is that what you sent me to play?
No.
Tonight?
So apparently he was on America's Got Talent or something, or British. I don't know which one, but he was on one of those talent ones. I had no idea, but I came across, and I'm going to, if I say his name wrong, I do apologize, Marcin.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a guitarist. He's young. He's 23 years old. He's from Poland, but he plays classical flamenco guitar, and he uses the whole guitar, which I know we've seen with other musicians. But some of the drum beats and all that stuff. The song I'm going to have you play is coming off of his album in September, so it is with another musician called Tim Henson.
Do you know who Tim Henson is?
I don't.
Okay.
I'll find out. But
You don't have to. I know who he is.
you do? Who is he?
We'll talk about him in a second.
So, he's brilliant. And there's one thing that watching some of his videos is I want to know where his head goes when he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those musicians that when they play, they're completely transported away from what they're doing, and all they're doing is playing. All they're doing is channeling that music through whatever instrument is in their hands. And he is one of them. Like he looks off into areas where you're just kind of like, what is he looking at, or what is he?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not making fun of it, because you can tell he's just so ingrained in him what he's doing that it allows him to step out of normal reality to be able to do what he's doing and to play the way he's playing. So the song that I gave you is called Classical Dragon featuring Tim Henson, and it's coming off of his album like I said, in September.
Cool. Let's take a listen. Very cool.
Right? And it's just, he doesn't have any like full albums out. Everything is, singles that went out. So if you go to like Spotify or Apple Music, you can find like, all his songs, and you can play through all of his songs. And that's kind of what I've been listening to. And it's funny because he plays on the soundtrack for a show on Netflix called One Piece, which is apparently about pirates and that time frame and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't want to listen to soundtrack piece. I want to listen to something else. But the song came on, and it was just brilliant. Like the composers are Sonia Belasova, who also composed for the Witcher and stuff like that. And then she's partnered with Giona Ostatilia, I believe it's pronounced. But he plays on like 2 tracks, Marcin. And you could hear it, like, because he plays like the Spanish guitar, the flamenco guitar. But even that, like, I was like, this is a great song. So I listened to the whole soundtrack, and the music, forget about the show. I haven't even watched the show. The music is gorgeous.
Nice.
Like, it's beautifully written. And, before I even knew what the show was about, I'm like, oh, this got like this swashbuckler feel to it. You feel like you're in the seas. And then I was talking to one of our listeners who watched the first season, and she was like, no, she goes, it's all about being a pirate. But it's based off of a Jap animation show. So it's like that. She's like the acting comes across as over the top, but she goes, it's all, I was like, this music is just like makes me want to watch the show just to see how it fits.
Cool.
So it was a very cool find. So how about yourself? What do you listen to?
Little bit of everything. Today I had some Ava Cassidy on. Who else did I had? I had some Mingo Fish Trap on. just like everything lately. I don't know. I can't find. Had some Jacob Collier on. Just I can't find a steady path. It's just all over the place. So I think I'm going to create a playlist that is just all over the place for tomorrow and let it go where it's going to go. So.
Do you feel like that is that's depicting how your life is right now?
Yes.
Like there's so many things going on that you can't settle down on one form of music.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know we talked about this in previous episodes, specifically in season 1, where how we go through the seasons and our music kind of adjusts based upon what the season is, and we both kind of have like very similar when it comes to the summer, when it comes to, so you just feel like right now with everything in your life, it's all over the place, which
Yep.
So your soundtrack just needs to play along with it.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense. So why are we here tonight?
Well, before we get to why we're here, I want to talk to you a little bit about Tim Henson.
Please.
So he is not related to Jim.
No, I thought I do.
At least as far as I know. But he is the lead guitarist for a group called Polyphia. Have you ever heard of that group?
Oh, that's right.
I thought you picked this
on
purpose.
No, you know what it is? I didn't even connect it.
That's pretty cool.
I didn't even connect it. You're right, because when I was looking at the thing, that was the group that came up, and I thought it was kind of ironic. And I just... It's old age, dude.
Yeah. So Tim Henson is the lead lead guitarist for the group called Polyphia, and that's who we're talking about tonight. Is Polyphia. So
that was not planned. I'm telling you that right now. That was not planned.
So a lot of the style that you just heard is what we're going to be hearing tonight. Tim Henson has a very distinct style, and you're going to hear that distinct style a lot tonight. So Polyphia.
Polyphia.
Yeah. Group out of Plano, Texas.
Is it Polyphia or Polyphia?
I call them Polyphia. I don't know. No idea. So they're progressive rock, kind of in the vein of, your Dream Theaters, your Coheed Cambrias, that sort of, very guitar heavy type of stuff. And they fall into a style of progressive rock that people call math rock. And math rock it's got a lot of very intricate time signatures and meters and rhythms. And the unique thing with Polyphia is that they try to use kind of standard chord progressions that you'd hear in typical pop songs. And if you start Googling like Polyphia, like breakdown or like people like analyzing their music, they'll go through like the chord structure and tell you what it is, and it fits a lot of very standard pop songs, but they don't sound very poppy.
Right.
Math rock is a style of progressive rock that was not really attributed, but the group Rush is kind of one of the groups. King Crimson's another group that kind of is in that math rock kind of vein. So it's some really cool stuff, and it's almost like, it's like, for me it's kind of like Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, where they do such complicated stuff but they make it sound not complicated at the same time,
right?
And that's Polyphia in a nutshell. So it's a 4-person group. You got Tim Henson, the lead guitarist, Scott LePage, Kelly Gober, and I'm not even going to attempt that last name, Clay something or other. I'm probably butchering Polyphia, and I don't know Clay's last name. I don't know. So I'm sorry.
Now I
Clay.
want to know if it's
Aeschylman. A Shillman? I don't know.
A showman?
Yeah, who knows? All right, I need to get my hoop. There's a fly that is flying around, and Lewis tried to catch it just now.
So the dog was flying in the background. That's him.
So, Polyphia has not been around very long. Their first album came out in 2013. It was an EP called Inspire, and the track I chose 2 tracks actually, because they don't have a tremendous amount of stuff, so I picked two tracks off of each album. But the first track I picked is called Persevere, and it features Aaron Marshall as well. And one of the things you'll quickly learn about Polyphia if you've never heard them before is it's very intricate, very clean playing. Just really, really impressive stuff. And this next one is called Inspire off of the same album. What's really funny about this type of music is this is the kind of stuff that I like when I have a lot of stuff to get done. I need to focus on stuff. Like this is the sort of stuff that gets me focused. I don't know why, I don't know how, but this is what I turn to.
I was going to ask you, like, do you know why?
No, I have no idea why.
Well, maybe that would be interesting to try to figure out why, because it's so. Even though it's precise because they're doing very precise things while they're playing. It kind of sounds
chaotic,
and because it's chaotic, it forces you to focus.
Right.
Because if you had something that, like let's say it was a classical piece, it was a piano piece, you'd want to focus on what they're playing because one, you're a pianist, and two, there's a melody line there that you can follow. Whereas because this is chaotic, it gives you the ability to focus on one thing, and it doesn't have to be that.
It's almost like the chaos phases out the chaos that's in my brain.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, it's kind of what I was, it makes sense. But it's true, it makes sense.
That fly is huge.
That's what she said?
Like, seriously, it's the size of my thumb. Sorry. Oh, man. So, yeah, but I mean, like, Dream Theater is the same way for me. The album Awake is like that is my go-to album. It's weird that this sort of stuff focuses me, but it does.
But you make a good point. If your brain is all over the place and constantly overthinking and constantly pulling things together, putting something quote unquote chaotic in the background forces you, because you're going to try to listen to everything. And you're like, oh, I can't do that. I got to focus on what I'm doing.
Right.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So 2014 came out. They came out with an album called Muse. This is probably my favorite album by them. And the fact that 2 tracks I chose are my 2 favorite songs by them. And the first one is a track that features Aaron Marshall again. And this is called Sweet Tea. So the first really big difference that I hear is an upgrade in recording equipment. I thought that the first 2 tracks were, especially in the drums, it was almost like they just had like 1 or 2 mics miking the whole drum set, which might have been the case.
Right.
Who knows? But this one you can actually hear more definition, and you're going to start hearing the more intricate they get, the more
Right.
Stuff they got, and so the next tune, this is my favorite song by them, called Champagne. I love that song. That song gets stuck in my head all the time. And I don't know how it stays stuck in my head, but it does.
That's a song you shared with me to introduce me to them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yep. All right, 2016 album is called Renaissance, and the first song is called Light. It's such a very distinct style. You can hear a lot of, it's almost like, it's kind of a weird comparison, but it's almost like John Williams, where you can kind of like hear other, like I heard Champagne in that, and I heard Sweet Tea in that.
Right.
There's kind of these little like elements from the other songs in that one.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yes, definitely.
You know, there's, weird. But
no, I mean, comparison, it makes sense. He pulls from his own stuff.
Yeah. And then I chose the song called Euphoria. So when I first found this group, I was talking to a few people at work about it because they were more familiar with them than I was. And they tried to explain to me why they're a very polarizing group. And a lot of people really dislike them. And they were trying to explain to me why. Honestly, it was so long ago, I can't remember why. But it had something to do with something, and then they came out with this album called The Most Hated, and it was because of all the hate that they were getting on, whether it's true or not, I don't know. That's what someone told me, but
and that fly is big, by the way.
Isn't it big?
I've seen it fly by the camera twice. I'm like, it's an orb. Nope, that's a fly.
No, it's a giant fly. It is now on you. It's climbing on the monitor on you. So, all right. So this album is called The Most Hated. This came out in 2017, and this song is called Icronic, which is both iconic and ironic, I guess.
Wow.
The beginning of this song, I think, is a really good example of what you were talking about at the beginning with Marcin, where you kind of use the whole guitar as,
Right.
as an instrument. There's a lot of tapping and thumping and hammering on, and a lot of really, not just sitting there strumming a guitar, but there's a lot of other stuff going on. And Tim Henson's known for that sort of stuff, that kind of thumping, tapping, hammering on all sorts of crazy, finger techniques. And that's what makes his stuff so different than a lot of other people.
Oh yeah.
So,
Before you continue,
Mm-hmm.
curiosity, I went to Google to see why. I typed in why was, and then it finished Polyphia hated. Apparently it's searched. So this is the AI overview, I guess. So it goes, some people dislike Polyphia because of their music style and their attempts to break into the mainstream. The band, formed in Plano, Texas in 2010, blends progressive metal and rock, hip-hop rhythms, and bass-heavy trap music with intricate guitar riffs. Some say that Polyphia's music is pretentious or immature, and that their guitar playing is so virtuistic, that few can mimic it. Others dislike the band is trying to reach a wider audience with their newer releases. So basically, they're hating on them because they're so good, and they can't mimic them. So why should I like them?
right.
And who cares if they want to hit a wider audience?
Mm-hmm.
If that's what they want to do, they have the right to do it. I mean, they're still talented musicians,
Right.
Yeah. So I just thought
It's
it was interesting.
interesting.
It was like the third hit on.
Yeah. and it's I don't know, it's weird. We talk about it a lot that music isn't a competition. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Who cares?
Right. Move on.
Yep.
Right.
40 ounces. That's why they're the most hated group, I guess. So I chose that one because there are just so many different styles kind of mashed up into one song.
There's so many good things going on in that.
Yeah, yeah, it's just so crazy.
It's one of those movies that you can watch over and over again and still get something new out of it.
Yeah. So talking about, trying to reach a larger audience, we've been kind of focusing on this a little bit in our last episodes, is how many monthly listeners. So 1.5 million is, a lot for the groups that we talk about. That's a lot. We are normally in the tens and hundreds of thousands, but if you go to their most popular song, 70 million listens. Right. The second most is 60 million.
It's amazing how hated they are.
Yeah. So, all right, next album came out in 2018, New Levels, New Devils, and this is called Nasty. I think that one's a really good example of the odd meters that they use. It's just all over the place.
Right. And apparently Jason Richardson is a big technical person as well.
Sounds like it.
He's based upon the little about me, just the brief first part, is an American heavy metal guitarist, multi-instrumentalist, composer, and teacher, known for highly original, deeply technical style in 7 and 8 string guitars. And he began his establishing his reputation when he joined All Shall Perish as a high school student. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yep.
All right, next song is called So Strange. I chose that because it was the first time we heard vocals in any of their stuff.
By Cuco.
Cuco.
He's they I was gonna say he's it looks like he's very Latin oriented music, but I haven't listened to it. It sounds like it's probably a mixture of like hip hop and stuff like that.
Yep.
But he, talk about monthly listeners. He's at 4.9 million. And he's from Mexico City, Mexico, which apparently July 13th, Polyphia is playing in Mexico City, New Mexico. Mexico City, Mexico. Sorry.
I won't embarrass ourselves with our geography skills and, how close is Plano, Texas to Mexico City? Closer than Ohio that is to Mexico City. That's what I'll say.
Oh, wow. That's too funny. No, but it just, it goes to what we were talking about where we like to look to see where they're popular because we've made notice that overseas, specifically in the Europe area, they're very big fans of guitar, whether it's rock or heavy stuff or whatever, and it's very interesting to see that outside of the States, that's where a lot of these musicians are more well known, I should say.
All right. Next album came out in 2022. And this was the album that I found them on, actually. This was the first time I had heard them. Not this song, but the song after this. But this first song is called Playing God. what really excites me about this album in particular is, so much of their stuff in the beginning was about intricate guitar playing. Now we're starting to get into some like intricate mastering stuff. There's a lot of like different panning going on, and guitars in different parts of your ear, and like so like now they're starting to explore it. So that's we always go through the beginning to the end of their catalog because we like to see how they've grown, and I think that they were always really great musicians, and I think they're now starting to get into the mastery of the recording stuff.
Right, and as they mature with it, their playing matures with it.
Yes,
and the fact that they're maturing from such a great, what's a better word for that? But they're because they are such great musicians when they started this process, they're just maturing to be even greater musicians, which is very cool. And it's very interesting because you got some of that Spanish guitar in there now, and you can tell that he was playing like the acoustic. He was using all of it.
Yep. Yeah, I was just going to see when the one that you played came out was 2024. Okay.
Yeah, he came out 2024.
Okay. And this is the song that I found them on. This is a song called Ego Death. This features Steve Vai. I don't know if you've ever heard of Steve Vai before.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
I didn't even know
Probably
who
he
Tim
plays the
Henson
guitar
was.
or something.
I didn't know who Tim Henson was.
He made Kermit.
I just didn't make the connection when it wasn't until you said something. I was like, oh, that's right.
This is called Ego Death. And there's a really good music video that accompanies this with Steve Vai in it. So I highly encourage you to check that out.
How many time signatures were in there?
A lot.
Some of them were on top of each other too.
Yeah. I'm really bad at guessing time signatures.
No, I know.
So I don't
I'm
even
just
try anymore.
But you could feel that there's a lot of overlapping.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they came out with a really cheery album called Remember That You Will Die. And I chose this song because of the group that they're playing with, a group called Brass Tracks. And they're a brass group that has played with a lot of people, including Corey Wong.
Yes.
So, and one of my favorite Corey Wong songs, too, called Flamingo. But this is called Genesis. And the group Brass Tracks, very classic sound, a very recognizable sound. It's a better word to use. Like there's a lot of groups out there like the Tower Power Horn section. Like I know the Tower Power Horn section. I know when I hear them. So just to give you a flavor of the difference in styles. So that was Brass Tracks with Polyphia. This is Brass Tracks with Corey Wong. So you can hear how that sound is a very distinct, very recognizable sound.
Right. And that's such a good song.
Section.
Flamingo is such a good song.
I love that song.
It's such a great song.
All right. Last song of the evening, called Reverie. I made it the entire night.
I was waiting.
The entire night I made it. Let's try Reverie again. Despite all the different time signatures going on, there's still a groove to every single tune that they do.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
And that is Polyphia.
That is Polyphia.
So, yeah. Yeah. Coming up next, we have some ideas, but
we may be revisiting an artist.
Some help.
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said we may be revisiting an artist.
Yeah, and we might need some help from some of you folks that have commented on our videos. So if you have not responded to the messages that we sent you, let us know if we can share some of the stuff that you shared with us, because it's really good stuff.
Yes.
So if they don't respond, I would highly encourage you to go check out our Beth Hart videos on YouTube. I know we say not to use YouTube, but there is some really, really, really good information about Beth Hart that was posted in our comments section. So I would highly recommend you check that out. To those that have posted that information, thank you so much. I'm still going through it. There's a lot there to go through. So
yes, so please reach out to us, because
we do
want
if you haven't done so already. Yes. Hopefully you have.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, Sunday after this, 7:30, live on Twitch, you get to hear the full songs that we played, including more of them, because we play for 2.5 hours. So come join us. We start at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And Friday nights, Kyle goes live at 8.
Yep.
Eastern
And there is a live Polyphia album that I have not listened to yet. Mostly because I didn't think I would be able to play most of it on the streams and the episode because of language. But I do plan on listening to it soon. It just came out recently, so
maybe
I'm
we
excited
can
to
find
hear
a
it.
song or two that we could play.
Yeah. And if not, when they say bad words, I'll go beep. So, thank you all so much for listening.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next week, and have a good one. Thanks for listening to the Turn on the Music podcast. Make sure you check our link tree in the show notes for our social media accounts. If you like what you heard, please share it with a friend. And we'd love it if you could give us a 5-star rating on your platform of choice. We'll see you next week. And remember, always share the music.
Thank you.